You tune into the Sportscast with Brian, Craig, and Jeff. Give you all the sports news you need. We give you outspoken thoughts about all the headlines. We talk baseball, football, hockey, and more. No matter the topic, we cover it. Get ready for the show and keep it outspoken. Keep it outspoken. We keep it outspoken only on the Sportscast. Tune into the Sportscast with Brian, Craig, and Jeff. Give you all the sports news you need.
Hey guys, welcome into the Outspoken Sportscast here. We got episode 167 here for you. Talks on Tuesday, week 10 edition. How's it going, Craig?
Long week already.
It has been a long week already. You're dang right. I want to first apologize. Last week we weren't able to put out an episode. I had two thrown up kids on Tuesday, and Craig's mic hates him, and so we didn't get out an episode. And then Friday didn't work out. Saturday was the schedule, so I do want to apologize for that. But we're back this week, guys. We've got your Week 10 recap, your power rankings, and we have the picks for next week and headlines of the week, guys, right after this. All right, guys, welcome back. Episode 167, Talks on Tuesday here, Week 10 edition. And Craig, you edged me out this week in the pick'em.
3 weeks in a row.
In the pick'em. So you were 9-5. I was 7-7. I don't know what to say. Now I'm still up on you by 1 week, so you're catching up. So I've got a little spreadsheet here. I'm keeping them up on my phone, but kudos to you this week. It's funny because I play with another buddy of mine, and I have 1-0 weeks. We've only done it the last 3 weeks, and I've 1-0. I'm like,
I don't know why you use different picks, but
I haven't used different picks. I've used the same picks. He just picked different than you and me, and then I'm like, how have I not won 1 week? But let's go ahead and jump in. We get the Week 10 recap here for you. An exciting week, definitely the most. We had Thursday Night Football. Panthers beat the Falcons. It's a nothing game, means nothing. The Panthers. I mean, we both picked the Falcons to win, and the Falcons let us down that game. They were playing really well, and they just dropped an egg. But they were on the road in Carolina. I don't know how they win when they trade away everybody, but they won that game.
I don't know.
And then we had a beautiful game, Packers-Cowboys. Great game. Wonderful. Loved it all the way to the end. I don't know. What do you want to say about it, Craig? I'm not trying to rub it in too much, but it was fabulous.
I mean, just
fabulous.
You're up 14 points. You blow a lead to a wide receiver who can't catch a cold normally, and I mean everybody knows he's fast, but he caught 4 passes and a couple calls that could have gone either way on both sides of the ball, and Dallas loses again to Aaron Rodgers. You give him a chance, and he's always going to beat you, and it is what it is.
Yeah, after we fumbled
the playoffs, we'll have to play him in there. So
hopefully we turn our season around. This could be that win that catapults us into turning it around and maybe making a wild card. Our schedule doesn't get any better, though it gets pretty difficult. But Rodgers played a little bit better. He didn't throw the ball a lot. We ran the ball all day long. And then the scary part for you is we were down by 2 touchdowns in the fourth, and we were still running the ball.
and that's the thing is they were 195-0 after leading after 3 quarters, and not only were they leading by 2 touchdowns, and
it was taking a 14-point lead in the fourth quarter. They were undefeated.
And so if you have the epic defense that you're supposedly supposed to have, that can't happen. I don't care what happens with the officiating. I don't care what happens with anything. If you have a 14-point lead and a defense that you say is in the top 5 in the NFL, you can't lose that game. So that's
you can't allow 200 rushing yards.
Nope.
And the thing too is y'all loaded the box and still couldn't stop Aaron Jones and AJ Dillon. So
and that doesn't get any easier with the guys that we're fixing to face, running backs. Fixing to face Dalvin Cook this week. You've got Derrick Henry still. You've got the Eagles. You've got Saquon Barkley. You've got Brian Robinson that you didn't face the first time when you faced the Commanders.
He looked good last night.
Yeah, and so it doesn't get any easier if you can't stop the run. So you have to have the ability to stop and get your gaps. They went and traded for a defensive tackle for that purpose, and he hasn't really done anything other than try to break Aaron Rodgers' hand.
Yeah, I saw that.
So, it is what it is. We'll see what they play against Minnesota, and I mean the schedule doesn't get any easier. You got Minnesota in Minnesota, who just had a solid week this week, and then you got the Giants on Thanksgiving on a short week. So it don't get any easier.
Yeah, and I'm shocked we won this game. I've kind of had Rodgers and the Packers out, and maybe this is where we turn it around. But this needs to be our game plan for every game this year. We run the ball, and use Aaron Rodgers a little bit there. And Christian Watson had a breakout game. Didn't see that coming, but it was a fantastic game. I'm echoing a little bit. Can you hear that?
Yeah.
I have no clue why, and it sounds terrible.
Is it better?
It's completely gone. Thank you. Yes. I don't know what you just did, but it worked. Bucks beat Seattle. This is the first game in Germany. Tampa Bay wins this one 21-16. They allow 13 points in the fourth quarter. They send their 48-year-old quarterback out on a wheel route to try and catch a pass. I don't know why. He slips and falls down and almost gets
Rest
stepped
in peace,
on.
Tom Brady.
They 2 back-to-back wins. They have the same record as the Commanders now, so I think they'll probably string a couple and still win that division. But you good?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, we have a little technical difficulties here today, but this is probably the game of the week, maybe game of the year, Bills and Vikings. And I watched a little bit of this game, then I had to start cooking for you guys to come over. And Kirk Cousins was Kirk Cousining it up. Man, he's throwing picks, and I'm like, okay, they're gonna lose. And I walk back in, and it's a tie ball game. I'm like, what is going on here? Josh Allen threw 2 picks and fumbled the football. Not a good game for him. If Vikings continue to win, impressive on the road. All Josh Allen has to do is hold on to the snap, and they win the game. And he fumbles the ball into the end zone, and Vikings recover that, take it to overtime, and get the victory. And then Josh Allen has a chance to come back and win it in overtime, and he throws another pick in the end zone. That seals the deal. Not a good game.
I don't know. I'd be really curious to know if that elbow bothered him more than what he claims it did. He still looked like he had the zip on the ball. He still looked like he was accurate enough, but that's not the Josh Allen you love. But did you see the catch Justin Jefferson made in this game?
Oh,
That rivals the Odell Beckham catch for maybe the greatest catch
great
ever.
sketch of all time. I
Beckham, when he did it, there was really nobody around him because Carr had fallen down and was mugging him. But to catch the ball and turn your wrist with the defender pulling it away from you and to be able to fall and turn and keep everything off the ground with the new catch
Insane.
rule. I mean, I just kudos to him. I mean, I owe Justin Jefferson an apology because at the start of the year, I had Jamar Chase as a better wide receiver, and I don't think there's a better wide receiver in football. In 40 games, 20 of them, he's had over 100 yards. In half of his football games that he has played in the NFL, he has over 100 yards. To put that in perspective, CeeDee Lamb, for the first time all season, went over 100 yards against Green Bay. So Justin Jefferson does this every week. He is. I mean, I don't even want to see what he's going to do to Dallas. I mean, we're going to see how good Trayvon Diggs really is because
He's not shutting down Jefferson.
he's not shutting down Justin Jefferson. The win will be if you don't get 100 yards. That's a win.
Justin Jefferson, and then you got when you have the passing game or when you have the rushing game going with Dalvin Cook against you guys, and it just opens up that deep ball for Justin. It's gonna. I don't know. It's gonna be a crazy game. We'll see how Dak
somehow they
responds
beat him last year. I don't know how. And I don't know how they're
with their
going to beat him
backup,
this year.
right? Didn't you beat him up with a back? It was
that was the Cooper Rush drop it
game.
to Mari Cooper game that now everybody talks about because he's the greatest quarterback ever.
Quarterback of all time. No, that catch was absolutely amazing.
That game was amazing. And for Minnesota to win it, that is the best win of the season for them.
Now you look at and this is the first year. It's scary what you talked about. This is the first year the Vikings have had an offensive-minded coach. So see what they can do with Justin Jefferson. But Kirk Cousins was 30 of 50. He had a QBR of 34. It's just not very good. But they won the game. Dalvin Cook had 119 yards rushing. They stuck in there. Defense is, they gave up 30, but it's the Bills. You expect to give up quite a bit of points there, and they were able to win. And we'll see where we put them up in the power rankings coming up after this recap. We had the Lions coming all the way back. They scored 21 fourth quarter points to beat the Bears 31-30. Everyone was all over Justin Fields in this game. Oh, this guy's so good. This guy's so great. And then they lose by 1 as they were up big. And both these teams are just bad. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. It's just these are the two worst teams in the division. Green Bay is better than both these teams. Then of course you got Minnesota, but just a bad game all around. You've got Tennessee taking care of business against the Broncos. They won 17-10. Started
real slow, but
yeah,
they somehow come back and win. Just because the Broncos are terrible.
Terrible. Chiefs beat the Jaguars by 10. That's just an other easy pick there. Jacksonville started the game with the onside kick and got it back. I guess they were trying to pull all the bags of tricks there to win, and just didn't happen. Dolphins annihilate the Browns 39-17. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, Deshaun Watson could start practicing again this coming week.
Yes, with the team play in week 13.
They said, now this is the dumbest thing I heard today. They were talking about on the radio on 105.3 The Fan that, sorry, it was Amy Lawrence was on before The Fan, that the coach said Jacoby Brissett will remain our quarterback, and that makes no sense to me because if Deshaun Watson is your future, which he is, you're paying him a lot of guaranteed money to be that guy. You need to get him in as many games as you can before you just throw them into a full 17-game season. So if they don't flip over to Deshaun Watson when they can and just say, hey, okay, this is going to be your basically your practice because the Browns probably aren't going anywhere this year.
That would be astonishing if he could play and didn't. I mean, that's what you pay him for, is to start.
Yeah. That's what the head coach said. I was like, that is the absolute dumbest thing I've ever heard. I mean, this guy
I
hasn't
mean,
played football in 2 years.
does that mean next year he's going to be the backup to like what? I don't understand. How long is that plan going to go into effect?
I don't know. Well, we'll see if it happens because I think they were talking about it and that was something they go. That's probably something the ownership's going to say. No, buddy.
Yeah,
Jacoby Brissett's not.
yeah. I hope he ran that
starting.
by them before he had that press conference because that could cost you a job. I mean that's a decision that you just can't have. No way.
Giants beat the Texans. No news here. They beat them 24-16. Giants continue to win. Second place in their division. Brian Daboll, for me, is almost locked up coach of the year. This is a team that no one expected to be good at all. And he comes in there and look, we're talking about Daniel Jones being one of the biggest busts, and this guy can't play football. He hasn't turned the ball over since week 3. They're getting the job done and they're winning games. And it doesn't, I mean, I can't kill them for their schedule because they were supposed to be bad themselves. So,
well, and they're they are needing to make a decision here on both Daniel Jones and Saquon because they're both going to be free agents now because they didn't pick up the option on either of them. So I don't know if they still have time to pick up either one of those options.
I'm not sure. I don't think so.
I think that decision already had to be made, and I think they passed on both. So now they're both going to be free agents, and man, that's going to cost you a bunch of money because you could have got them for cheaper by just picking up their options, and now that you don't have that option, it's going to cost you what the asking price is, and so.
Well, and that's a tough decision for the new head coach to make. Do I just sit here and go
right?
Daniel Jones played pretty good this year. He's not good enough to get us over the hump, but am I willing to move on from him? But do you tie yourself with Daniel Jones? And then Saquon had a breakout year, but he's like Christian McCaffrey. He's mostly hurt, and so that's I didn't know Saquon was up. I knew Daniel Jones was, but Steelers take care of business 20-10 over the Saints, and it's just that's not really fair. I mean. Saints don't have a quarterback. They got the red rifle still throwing the ball.
Washed.
Whatever they're doing with the Taysom Hill,
Yeah, that's a failed experiment.
Is this Kenny Pickett's first win though, as a rookie?
I believe so.
TJ Watt was back this game, so that's good to see him back out there. And I picked the Saints to win. But if I knew TJ Watt was going to be back, I would have picked the Steelers. That's how much of a difference that guy makes on a game by game basis.
Yeah, and the Saints have just struggled to score points.
Yeah. Colts beat the Raiders. This is another one I picked the Raiders to win, and they end up losing like they normally do. I'm not picking the Raiders to win a game again.
I picked the Colts only because of the new coach deal and just trying to get rally around the head coach. You normally always get a new head coach. You always get a win just because of that. Even though he's not qualified to do anything, and it seems like there's an internal struggle there on why he was even hired. So,
I mean, that thing blew up, and everyone was going off, and I'm like, I don't know. Let them hire who they want. It's
well, what the question was is they said that the ownership group was against it, and basically the owner just went on his own deal and basically hired his drinking buddy. They said is kind of what it.
Well, we're gonna see who he is. We're gonna see who he is as a head coach, and so far so good. I love the meme I sent you where he says he's out here talking crap about the Raiders last week, and then he shows up and beats them.
Yeah.
with the Colts, and he's answered all the criticism, and he's like, "Look, I'm passionate. I know what it takes to win. I'm center of the NFL. You know, I know the dedication, and and sometimes it's all you need. If you go in there with some passion, some fire, light these guys up, and know what you're talking about. The guy Jeff Saturday has been around and played football for a long time. He's won a championship with Peyton Manning. He knows what it takes. Now, does he know all the X's and O's and that part of the ball? Maybe not, but that's something maybe he can learn. And I'm interested to see if it works. But I know everyone hated it. Everyone
Well, I
was
mean, he
blowing his
admitted it.
name
He
up.
said it. He goes, I may be terrible at this. He says,
Yeah.
and after 8 games, I'll say, see you later. Thanks for having me. He said, but, and I don't know the plan. I haven't heard the plan, whether this is just a temporary deal or whether they're planning on moving forward with him into next year. He's got a guy calling plays that has never called plays in the NFL before, but it seemed to work. I mean, so
I think it's just an interim thing, and it's like, well, who are we gonna get? Might as well, Jeff Saturday here for the finish out the season. We'll go from here. But this is an audition. If this team turns around and they rattle off 3 or 4 wins, and I don't know, we could see it happen, but I'm just not sure. But this is Sam Ehlinger's first win in the NFL as well. So
yeah.
we have 2 rookie quarterbacks there getting their first win of the week. Or their NFL career. Cardinals take care of the Rams 27-17 on the road. 2 teams that are highly disappointing this season, which I don't think neither me or you believed in the Arizona Cardinals. Even last year, we didn't believe the hype. The Rams are an absolute disappointment.
Yeah, but I mean, we also said as a disclaimer that how bad is Stafford's elbow? When we found that out, we said if this is as bad as it is, that could really affect him, and I think it is. I think that's really affected. He can't get the ball down the field. He can't get the ball to his receivers. Allen Robinson has come in here and been no effect because he's your deep threat, and you can't get him the football, and so or him and Stafford just haven't connected on a wide receiver quarterback, level. There's just been no camaraderie there, no him throwing the ball, and now Cooper Kupp is hurt, and that sounds like it's going to be at least 4 games, and the way on the path they are, that's going to be the season because there's no need to bring him back when you're not going to make the playoffs. So very disappointing to win the Super Bowl and then come out like this. This may be the end for Stafford. It looks like Arizona has a quarterback that the coach and the quarterback can't get along. You've paid him all this money, so it probably is going to be Kingsbury that gets the boot rather than Kyler.
He'll be gone this season.
Yeah, and so we've called this for a couple weeks now.
With Stafford's injury, is that something that surgery will fix? Is that something that
it depends on what it is. If it's that UCL, like Allen's got, that's Tommy John, and that's a year. I mean, now maybe not in football. They were saying it may not be a full year because you don't put the torque and the twist on, as you do in baseball. But I mean, does Stafford want to go through something like that this far into his career? I don't know if I would. If you're just going to go pick the kids up at the school, you don't need Tommy John.
I think at this point, you're.
You won your Super Bowl. You got your ring. You're going to probably be in the Hall of Fame now because you were the fastest quarterback to 30,000, the fastest quarterback to 40,000. Like you're going to be a Hall of Famer. The only box you hadn't checked was the Super Bowl, and you did that last year. So, do I really want to put my body through surgery and recovery and a whole off season of rehab and everything to play 1 or 2 more seasons? I just don't know. I don't know the exact. I know it's in that elbow. I know it's causing him not to be able to grip the ball and throw the ball down the field. I would think surgery would fix it, but I just don't know if he's willing to do the rehab and or wants to do the rehab and surgery.
Yeah, I believe he still wants to play. But my thought about it is you look at the season and go, hey, guys, we're not doing good. We're probably not going to make the playoffs. Let's start this rehab now. Let's start this surgery, get it fixed, and he'll be back for next year. But I guess the way the NFC has been and how mediocre a lot of teams have been, I think you're frozen there, Craig. Oh, no. Sorry, you were perfectly still. I'm like, oh, he's frozen up. The way these teams have been mediocre this season, I guess no one's really out of it just yet. But that's the way I'm looking at it. Is I think he still wants to play. Just coming off the Super Bowl win, they got this awesome team together, and we'll see. We'll see what happens. But 49ers beat the Chargers 22-16. Chargers.
That division
What?
has been a disappointment.
What
We
a
picked that as the best division in football, and Kansas City has said, "No, sir, we are still it runs through Kansas City." And I won't ever doubt Patrick Mahomes ever again.
Me neither. We've learned that lesson the hard way.
Learned the hard way because that guy has just said, Tyreek who?
And maybe it's about time we start looking at Justin Herbert and going, maybe this guy's not as good as we said he was.
100%. He's never been over 500. He can't get out of his own way. The team, now granted, they've had a bunch of injuries. They've had a slew of injuries.
They're always injured.
But
the Chargers.
You at some point, as Jeff has said, the Chargers charging it up, and until they can get out of their own way,
what
I just have to believe that the division runs through Kansas City, and with the Raiders being terrible the way they have been, the Chargers being terrible the way they've been,
we need to
blanket. Who else is in that division?
The Raiders. The one of the worst.
The Raiders, the Chargers, the Chiefs. There's one more.
Broncos.
Oh yeah, so they're all terrible.
They're all terrible.
Yeah,
except the Chiefs.
And we thought it was going to be. We thought at one point, I thought all four of them could make the playoffs. Boy,
whew.
That was hope we deleted that episode.
Yeah.
Wow.
Sorry, yeah. We were horrible. I had to go on an apology tour last week because I was like, all right, there's some.
Yeah, it sounds like I need to put one together. Wow.
I was way off. I killed Pete Carroll. He's got Seattle winning. And we need to have.
I was right on the Dolphins.
Yeah. We need to have a box up here.
Yeah.
And have a point for each one of these.
Hot take box.
Jeff says the Chargers will charge her up. There's a point.
Yeah, 1 plus 1 for being double right.
Yeah, and you get a point taken. We get a point. Me and you get points taken away for
and you get points taken
Mahomes.
away for saying the Broncos were going to win the division. That's negative.
Yeah, negative. We get points taken away for doubting Mahomes and
yeah.
Whew. So there's been this has been the craziest year of football. I mean, trying to predict crap, it's insane.
And that's why I said, I mean, the loss for Dallas looks bad now, but Kansas City's lost some bad games. The Jets beat Buffalo. You got Buffalo. Why are you snapping the ball on the 1 yard line? Just take the safety and punt it and live to play another down and make them drive the whole field and do something. I mean, there's different ways to handle that.
Just hand off the ball to running back. If you get a safety, get a safety. If not, he gets out and it's game over. But
and so there was a million ways, and I understand Josh Allen has taken that ball and ran it forward 100 different times, and he just got above his skis and tried to do it all too fast. But everybody's had bad losses except the teams that are leading the way. I mean, the Eagles lose to the 4-5 Commanders last night. So 100% that football is football. Any given Sunday, you can do it. And so, but the Chiefs have definitely led the way this year.
Last night's game, the Eagles take their first loss of the season at home against the Commanders team, who's actually been playing way better than we thought they would in some of these games as of late. We got this team I think has really rallied behind Heineke. He's not out there killing, and he had 211 yards last night. He outthrew Jalen Hurts, and Hurts only had 28 rushing yards, so they were able to kind of slow him down a little bit on that side of the football.
I've never believed in Hurts as a thrower. The way he runs the ball and the options he runs and the threat he proposes makes people commit to that and leaves people open. I hope these teams saw what Washington did. See, in Washington, the first part of the year, they didn't have a lot of their defense. Some of those guys have been on
Yep.
injured reserve, so they missed 4 or 5 games. So this is the defense now that they were supposed to have to
Mhm.
start the season and didn't. So now, if they can win 4 or 5 games, I mean that division could get real interesting real quick. I
And-
mean,
and
the
I
Eagles
think
have to play the Giants twice still. They have to play the Cowboys still. I'm assuming they're done with the Commanders. I don't know. I'd have to look at the schedule. But
they are, I believe.
but I mean that division could get real interesting because they're all fixing to beat up on each other late in the season. I mean, either the Giants are going to have some losses, the Eagles are going to have some losses. I mean, Dallas is still in a great spot if they can just win their division games and just win the games they're supposed to win. If they beat the Giants, if they beat the Texans, if they beat the Colts, there's 3 more wins.
AJ Brown last night,
Yo.
1 for 7 yards.
I think he got hurt. I think
Did
he
he?
got hurt coming out of a cut. I think it
Because
was either a
I'm going that
hamstring or a
that's
deal
just a no
because
show.
I saw him going over the sidelines and then 1 for 7. I think he was injured and left the game and didn't come back. So we'll have to see if we hear anything on that because that changes that offense dramatically. He has made a huge impact over there.
Now I will say this, and Jalen Hurts was on my apology tour last week. I didn't really believe in him. This season, I've changed my mind on his throwing. He's actually looked like he's gotten better.
A little bit.
His deep downfield passes have done better, and I honestly trust him more at throwing the ball than I do Lamar Jackson.
I've never believed in that guy either.
So,
and then the last time I did that, he goes and wins the MVP. So
call that hot take or whatever you want it, but that's the way I see it. And
I've never believed in Lamar Jackson. Like I said, though, I said he had a spaghetti noodle for an arm, and then he won MVP that year. So I don't know.
I mean, you look at and the what is it? The Eagles turned the ball over 4 times.
Yeah, and if you do that, just like Dallas, you turn the ball over twice. You got points off turnovers. You give them a short field. There's not too many. All these teams are NFL football teams. They're not playing high school teams. They're not playing college teams. They're all in the NFL. All these players get paid the same, and on any given Sunday they can win. And then last night the Commanders did it, and so hopefully there's a blueprint there on how to play the Eagles.
Well, and let alone you talk about the Commanders. We did talk about them playing well and getting healthy. They're getting back. What's his face next week? I saw a report today. I believe that who's their main defensive guy? What's his face?
Oh, I thought he came back last night. That's why.
No, Sweat was back last night.
I
forget his name. Why am I drawing a blank? Let me see.
Yeah, that defensive end.
What's his name? Drawing a blank. Oh, Rivera unsure if healthy if Wentz gets this job back.
Chase Young.
Chase Young. I believe he will be back. They said this next week.
Yeah,
so
that causes a lot of havoc. If that defense was good last night without him, that defense will be even better with him. That guy is a beast.
All right, guys. Well, it's time for power rankings. I'm interested to see. Got your Week 10 power rankings. I'm interested to see who you have, Craig, here. We'll go from 5 to 1 here. Who you got number 5?
Philadelphia. They're still 8-1, but that's a bad loss, and we'll see how that goes and see if they can recover from that because their schedule is they played the easy part of their schedule up front. The back part of their schedule is very division heavy, and we'll see if they can.
They still got Green Bay if we turn it around.
Yeah, you got Green Bay still.
If we turn it around. I got Miami at number 5. And I don't think Miami was in my top 5 last week, but Tua Tagovailoa, might as well add him up there to the apology tour because this guy has looked fantastic as far as he's healthy. And that goes to show this team and organization's gone out and gave him some weapons, obviously. Head coach is fantastic with him and really believes in him because the stories before is that head coach was what's his face that said he didn't really believe in Tua and didn't really said he draft him. And you get a guy in there that brings some positivity and believes in you, and look what's going on now. So this team looks pretty scary over there. They're leading their division right now. And so I got Miami there at number 5. As long as they keep Tua healthy and they continue to play the way they are, they look really, really good. Number 4, I have the Eagles. They dropped down a little bit here with this loss last night. Now the game was closer than it looked scheduled on the scoreboard. They really lost 26-21. The Commanders scored when they were trying to do the backflip here, and not backflip, but toss the ball over here and try and make that one heroic play.
Okay, that makes sense. Because I thought maybe they threw a pick six or something trying to win the game.
It was the very last play, and they threw the ball around the field. They were down there at their own 10-yard line, and the guy gets hit. He throws the ball, horrible pass, and they scoop it up and walk 2 feet into the end zone. So the game was a little bit closer. And the Eagles are going to have that game. Everyone has it. So we'll see if they bounce back this next coming week. But I got the Eagles there at number 4.
I got the Niners at 4. They keep winning. I think they win that division. I think Seattle's got a tough schedule down the road. I think Garoppolo is got them where they need to be. I think the CMC trade was amazing. I told you I thought that was going to make them a lot better team. And although we did say that you could put anybody back there and run the football, McCaffrey has made a huge difference in that offense and opened up the passing game. Brandon Ayuk has looked amazing. When you can forget about Deebo Samuel and when he's the third or fourth name you name, that's a powerful offense. Yeah. And so I think the Niners, I'm going to put them there, and we'll see.
Number 3, I have the Bills. I dropped them down to number 3. They were number 1. Just Josh Allen did not look good last week, throwing those interceptions, and they just didn't win. And they had the game. They had it. They should have won it. That's one that they're going to look back on and go, this one slipped out of our hands. But I got the Buffalo Bills there at 3. They're still, if you line them up, I'll take them over most of the teams in the league right now. But they've got to get back to playing the way they know how to play and winning games. Who do you have at 3 there, Craig?
I have Buffalo as well. You lose that game, but you lost it in overtime, and you lost it to you didn't lose it to a team under 500. You didn't lose it to a team that deal. You lost to an 8-1 juggernaut who seems to have it all lined up, and it was at home. But you went to overtime, and you were 40 seconds from winning it. And like I said the other day, you gave Josh Allen 40 seconds, and he moved the ball down the field, and he got you into the deal and went into overtime. So, yes, he threw a pick in overtime. It didn't look good. I will be cautious on that elbow, but I have Buffalo at 3 for now.
I have at number 2. I got the Kansas City Chiefs. Knocked them down. I think I've always had them there at 2. Didn't move them up. They snuck out a win against the Tennessee Titans on Monday night the week before. Snuck out a win. That's a game that the Minnesota or not Minnesota, but that Tennessee was winning the whole time, and the Chiefs got to overtime and snuck out the win there. And but they're a good football team. They handle business this week against Jacksonville, and I didn't move them up or down because they're still winning, but they haven't. Jacksonville's not an impressive win, so they stay right where they are at 2.
I'm Minnesota at 2. Kansas City I can't take them. They haven't done anything to Kansas City was 2, right behind Buffalo. They haven't done anything to go down. Minnesota is 1A right now, kind of like Buffalo was. And so I have Minnesota. That's an impressive win. I think Dallas is in for everything they can handle on Sunday. And the only thing you can hope for when you play Minnesota is you play them in a prime time slot, because Kirk Cousins pees on his leg in prime time, and that would be the only thing that's going to stop Minnesota right now. So we'll see if Dallas's defense can wake up and play the way they played the first 5 or 6 weeks. So now I have of Minnesota, and of course that leaves Kansas City at 1.
I have Minnesota Vikings at number 1. And it pains me to say, because I hate the Vikings with a passion. But they're a good football team. And, I have a buddy of mine, we talked before the season started, and he told me, I think Minnesota's going to win your division. And I said, well, they're not, but they could. I'm not that Packer fans can tell you we're going to win the division every year. They got a new head coach. This team is talented. They're a very talented football team. They play good defense. They've added some pieces. You got the new offensive coach, and he always they talked about over the offseason was the wide receivers are grateful to have a coach that knows how to use them, and they're offensive minded. So, and we've seen it. Justin Jefferson's an absolute beast. Dalvin Cook can run the ball down your throat. Adam Thielen is the number 2 there. Most teams he would be number 1. So they're just looking fantastic. Oh, they went and made a move. They picked up the tight end and T.J. Hawkinson. As it pains me to say, I got Minnesota there, and they will be a tough matchup for the Cowboys next week, and we got to play them again, and I'm not looking forward to that. But right now, those are our top 5 power rankings. I'm surprised you didn't have Miami in your top 5. I'm surprised.
Yeah.
All right. Let's go to week 11 picks. So, game Thursday night, we got Tennessee traveling to Green Bay. Last time these two played last year was a fantastic game in the snow. Green Bay won that one. I think Tannehill's back this game. Did he play?
No.
He played.
No, I almost think that they're better with the rookie, but we'll see.
I mean, he did a decent job. I watched him play with Kansas City, and this defense is stout. You can't get to that. You can't argue that the defense of Tennessee, and the obviously Derrick Henry. But I got the Packers winning. I do think that beating the Cowboys, we finally looked like we knew what we were doing on offense. I think that will be the catapult. Hopefully, it turns us around, and I do have Packers winning this game against the Tennessee Titans at home in Lambeau.
Tennessee did not impress me against a Denver team that is not great. I know they're known for defense, but give me Green Bay.
All right, we got the Bears traveling to Atlanta to face on the Falcons. 2 bad teams, and if I'm looking at these 2 teams, Justin Fields has been playing better as of late. I will not knock him on that. He has. I just think the Falcons have played better than I thought they would this year, and I'm just going to lean towards the Falcons. It's really a coin flip football game.
Yeah, Bears are looking better offensively, but not defensively. Atlanta is going to try to make up for the game that they lost this week, that they should have won, and Atlanta wins and beats Chicago.
Bills and Browns. This one is where did the other one go? Oh, it's down there. Okay. Bills and Browns. Browns goes to the Bills. I think Bills dominate them. They're going to look. Josh Allen's going to be all pissed off about not doing as good as he could. That's a game they should have won. And they let that one slip. You shaking your head. I'm guessing you agree with me on that one.
Yeah, absolutely.
I got Eagles taking care of the Colts. I think that's an easy one. We'll see, though, the new head coach.
Yeah, that's a 1 week deal that wears off, and I think the Eagles got to
Yeah.
make up again for a tough loss. So
Jets and Patriots. Now, the first time they played this game, the Patriots totally had Zach Wilson back there seeing ghosts, and he looked bad. He's throwing interceptions left and right. I think the Jets win this one, though. I think
I believe so too.
come
They're
out.
looking better, and
Mhm.
this is the true test. If they can beat this team that they lost to early in the year, offset that bad loss, they make the playoffs, and we'll see if they're for real or if they're deal.
Rams go to the Saints to play in Louisiana. Some crazy things happen down there, but I've got the Rams winning this one. I just don't trust in the Saints.
No Cooper Cup. I don't know if Stafford is cleared for percussion protocol, but the Saints can't get out of their own way. Give me the Rams.
Wait a minute here. What did I write down? I wrote down the Saints. Why did I write down the Saints on my end? That is not who I'm going with. I'm gonna change that. I was like, wait a minute, what is going on? That's a mess up. All right. We have the Lions going to New York to play the Giants. Give me the Giants.
Yeah, they've won 2 in a row. They're starting to put up points again. I just don't think that defensively they've got it solved yet. So give me the Giants.
Easy one here. Ravens over the Panthers.
Yes. Baker's back in the QB because PJ has got a high ankle sprain. Sam Darnold will serve as the backup. Yeah, Ravens.
Commanders travel to Houston and play the Texans. I got the Commanders winning this one. Coming off this win, they look to be rallying around Heineke.
And if they play Chase Young,
yeah. All right, talk about a 50-50 coin flip of a terrible game. You got Raiders traveling to Denver at the 3:05 slot on Sunday. I got Denver winning this game.
Give me the Raiders. Carr rallied the locker room and called people out, and maybe they rally around him. Give me the Raiders.
Cowboys travel to Minnesota. Game of the week, 3:25. I've got Minnesota winning this game.
Do I be like Brian and homer it up?
Hey, I ended up winning that one.
Or do I go with what I really think is going to happen? Minnesota.
So last week, I told Craig, I said, the Cowboys are going to win, but I can't pick the Cowboys to beat the Packers, so I went with the Packers, and it ended up being good for my end, obviously. Bengals travel to Pittsburgh. I got the Bengals taking care of business and winning this game.
Yeah.
On the road. Chiefs take care of the Chargers. Monday Night Football. You agree?
Yeah, Chiefs. I'm not going to go against Kansas City.
And then the 49ers and Sunday night or Monday nights, the 49ers and Cardinals. I got the 49ers winning.
Yes. Yes, I don't trust Arizona, and I do trust Jimmy G.
So that our win or loss this week is going to come down to the Broncos and Raiders. It's the only difference we have. So, all right, guys. Well, it is the time for the headlines of the week here. Go ahead and throw that intro up there, brother. All right, guys. Headlines of the week this week. We got some bad news for the Rams. We kind of said this already, but star wide receiver Cooper Kupp to have surgery on his ankle. He's going to miss at least 4 games. He goes on the IR. That's going to be a big weapon missing for the Rams there out in LA with Stafford's shoulder injury. Odell's not coming back to save you this year, so not too good looking news there for the Rams and the defending champs.
Gonna have no choice but to get Allen Robinson the football.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on there with him, but Chicago, different cat, and now he goes there and he's disappeared. Packers cut Amari Rodgers today. Yes, thank you. Get rid of him. It was a bad pick. I didn't think it was when we drafted Amari Rodgers from Clemson. I said, okay, this guy's going to come in and be our slot wide receiver. He's going to be good. We've had him for 3 years. He's done nothing but fumble the ball on punt returns and look lost. So they did cut him today, which is good news for Packers fans, and we all wanted that done. Little baseball news here. Martin Perez accepts the Texas Rangers 1-year qualifying offer to stay with the team this year. He played really good last year for us, and he kind of had a resurrection of his career. We kind of thought that he was kind of done. We brought him in, and he did play really, really well for us, and I'm glad he's staying. I don't think anybody really wanted to give him a long-term deal. We obviously didn't want to give him a long-term deal because you don't want to pay a guy, then he comes out next year and goes back to what he's looked like in the past. So it's a good move for us to keep him in our rotation and come out and say, hey, let's do it again. And if you do it again, maybe I'll give you a 3 or 4 year deal.
Did you see what you're paying him?
No, I think it was. What am I paying him?
$19 million.
Yeah, $19 million.
From
it's just
4.
It's just 1 year. It's not a 4-year,
I gave him a longer deal and I'd have pushed that money down, but that's just me. $19 million, bro.
Yeah.
Martin Perez is not a $19 million starter. He's a 3 at best.
On the Rangers he is.
That's how bad. I understand, yeah.
That's how bad our bullpen is. Let's see. Yankees re-sign first baseman Rizzo for a multi-year deal.
That's a good deal. I really thought he might hit the market, so that's a good deal for them.
Let's see. Quarterback Aaron Rodgers says it's time to put grass on all NFL fields. A bunch of players have been calling for this. Is this something you think the NFL will take seriously, or we'll just kind of let it die down?
No, because if you really look at it, if you really look at the numbers specifically, they're about even. The injuries on the grass, the injuries on the turf, they're about the same. And I just think it's too hard. Like in Dallas, you can open the roof, you can get the rain, you can get the sun, you can get the stuff to the natural grass. But a lot of these fields you're building now with the Rams and all that, how are you going to get what you need to keep the turf alive? You'll be replacing the turf and if you go and put it in now, is it ever going to take and hold? And you're going to have guys slipping and sliding and turf problems. And I just don't think financially it would make sense for the NFL to do it all. You're in a dome stadium. You would have to have retractable roofs. You would have to have the whatever the one team put in where you could hit a button and the whole field rolls outside and gets rain and sun and wheels it back in. I mean, the amount of money you would have to put in to get these stadiums set up to have the natural grass and to have the watering and to have the sunlight, it just isn't worth the minor injuries, the few injuries you might save by doing it. And if the numbers were 97% that artificial turf blew the knees out and natural grass, there was one guy in the last 10 years, then yeah, maybe. But the numbers are too close to being even to spend this kind of money to do that.
Yeah, it's just not realistic, honestly. And all right, guys. Well, that's all we got for you as far as this episode goes. Craig, you will be back on Fridays, you said?
Yes, sir. We're still alive in the high school playoffs, but we are in Wichita Falls, and that's at 2:30 in the afternoon. And we all know that Craig's not driving to Wichita Falls at 2:30 in the afternoon. If I was still on vacation, I might have done it, but I only get 2 days instead of 3. And so I will not be up in Wichita Falls watching the Spartans hopefully beat Amarillo Tasco Costa or whatever it's deal that we're playing. So I will be here Friday night.
Now, Craig has started doing your NHL hockey
Hat trick.
there.
And the microphone has decided to, I don't know what happened the other night. The light was on. It appeared everything was working. It might have been the same issue I was having tonight logging in, and it may have been the computer that needed to be respotted. We will have at least one, maybe 2 episodes this week of the hockey
Craig's
hat trick.
or NHL hockey hat trick here.
Yeah, I'm off the next couple of days, so we might see if we can't pump a couple episodes out this week and catch up.
Do you want to know the score of the Dallas Stars game?
It's on my phone, brother.
Oh, okay.
It's 1-1.
I didn't want to spoil it.
Yeah.
Funny story. My first time meeting my brother-in-law, it was during the men's soccer and USA, and first time meeting him, I watched the game, and this is back in the day when I watched soccer when we were playing for the Olympics, and I go up to him and hey, my name's Brian, nice to meet you, blah blah blah, and I tell him, he goes, yeah, the hockey or the soccer game ends, and I was like, yeah, it's too shame they lost, and he's like, they lost? I had it recorded, I was like, oh man, I've
done that before.
I hate that.
I've done that before. Me and my dad DVR bowling, and we'll text each other and be like, do not tell me who won.
Yeah, I used to when I couldn't watch a Green Bay game, I'd come into work and I would earplugs on. I would get in, get out, not talk to no one, but I'm just like, I'm gonna hear it, I'm gonna see it, I'm gonna listen.
That's why
to the radio.
I stayed up the other night and watched Yellowstone, because I figured one of you fools would ruin it.
I don't ruin TV shows. Now, I still have not seen it, so zip your lips. Or Saturday nights or Saturday during the day is going to be my Yellowstone rewatch.
I missed the first 45 minutes because people don't have to tell time. No, it's 8 o'clock. Yeah, it's 8 o'clock on the East Coast. We're not on the East Coast, fool.
Oh, you missed the.
Yeah, so I come home and I come from your house and I'm sitting there and I'm like, wait a minute, that's what?
This is a weird way to start.
Yeah, that's it. Well, it's the middle of the episode. And for whatever reason, good luck finding it, because it's not on Paramount Plus.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I don't know where to rewatch it at, because I went to Paramount Plus today and they were like, everything except Yellowstone is on here. So I don't know where you're gonna unless you just find the regular Paramount channel and hope they do a replay on it, because
I will murder someone if they don't have Yellowstone. It
is not on Paramount Plus.
I don't even know if I get the Paramount channel. I have Paramount Plus.
But what I'm saying is, I don't know when they'll replay it. Like, it'll be on there again, but I don't know when.
I'm going to record everything from the next 2 weeks on Paramount, everything that comes on the show. Well, no, well, they better put it up, because I'm
now, if you DVR'd it the other night, then it's in your DVR.
No, I didn't DVR it. I usually just have it on the stream.
You're fired.
Well, that sucks, because that's a fantastic show, and they did 2 episodes that night.
Correct.
It's 2 hour, so. But, all right, guys. Well, there's no need to do What's in Our Locker, because Craig will be back on Fridays. You'll have me and Craig back on Fridays, and eventually Jeff will be back on Fridays. I don't know when that will be. That's up to him. But, I did get a PS5. So good. So good. So good, Craig. It's just fantastic. I don't think you play games, but
yeah, I mean, I do. I just, when I have time. I mean, I'm doing podcasts and I'm doing, all this high school senior edition of the high school deal. I've actually wanted to get the new Call of Duty. We'll see when that happens.
If you do, let me know and we can game it up, because I have it and it's fantastic. Crazy little story how I got it. So it was on my vacation last week, and my buddy called me up and said, hey, you still looking for a PlayStation 5? I said, yes, I am. He said, there's 2 left at Target in Weatherford. said, well, I really don't want to drive to Weatherford, but I will for PS5. So I'll go online. I'm on my phone. And as fast as I can create an account, I have this thing in my cart. Create an account, go to put my debit card in, and that thing is gone. I'm like, are you kidding me? I'm like, what in the world? So I tell the wife, I was like, no, I can't get it. It's gone. It's not even there anymore. Well, I come home. I call the Target by my house, the one right here. And this guy answers. He's like, his name's Greg. I'm going to give him a little shout out because Greg helped me out big time here. He goes, I was like, hey, I'm just trying to get a PS5. I know the Ragnarok edition comes out tomorrow. Do you have any? How many we have? When can I get online to buy it? Like, I'm asking all these questions. And he's like, well, they usually about 2:00 you can go on online and order. And I was like, okay, cool. And he goes, but well, give me your number. Everyone that's asked me for PS5s usually got one. So he texts me back in like 20 minutes. He's like, I got 5 Ragnarok editions and I got 1 regular edition of PS5. I said, I just want the regular edition. Will you hold it for me? I'll be right there. I go up there. And it's the wrong edition. It's the Ragnarok edition. He brings up the Ragnarok box, and I'm like, "That's the Ragnarok." And he's like, "Oh, my bad. I grabbed the wrong one." Well, he looks in his inventory and he goes, "You know what? I never had a regular PS5 edition." I was like, "Are you kidding me?" He's like, yeah, "I was looking at this box. I didn't see the Ragnarok. I just looked at the back of it." But he goes, "What I'll do for you is I'll take this one offline and I'll hold it for you right here. And you can come. I can't sell it to you today because I could get fired for that. Let's come back tomorrow. He's like, I have people in the store at 6 a.m. You can come back at 6. I'll sell it to you." Sweet. So I went home. Next day I got up, took the girls to school, went up there at 7 before they even opened, got the PS5 Ragnarok edition, and got home with it. So thank you, Greg. You're fantastic. Again, my PS5. Super excited about that. But he said the other ones. He said the other because they got in 6, and he said the 5 were just gone within 5 minutes of each other. So I got me a PS5. I've been playing the hell out of that. So, when I can. It's not like I have a whole lot of time now that work started, but that's what I did last week on vacation. All right, Craig, I'll stop talking so you can get back to Dallas Stars game. Enjoy your vacation, my friend. It sucks when you have to come back because I'm dead tired. Go to our YouTube page, guys. We are the Outspoken Network, and you will find under there the Outspoken Sportscast, Craig's Hockey Hat Tricks, and then we didn't do it yet. I wasn't able to pop it out yet, but we're going to have something like the Outspoken Round Table or something like that and talk about non-sports stuff as well. But thank you guys for tuning in. We appreciate your love. God bless, and remember,
Keep it outspoken.